Photos like these, the light in them just hits you, right? But if you feel like these photos are out of reach, you're not alone. And you've probably fallen into a trap, being told that you need to understand light, quality of light, temperature, direction, that you need to master all the technical stuff before you can create photos like these. Not true. This is the approach that keeps you stuck. What I'm going to share with you will set you free to actually shoot starting today. It's all far easier than you think. You'll just have to unlearn some of the stuff that you've already learned about light. But first, let's answer a very important question. What does light actually do? And no, it's not limited to simply illuminating things. Look at this image for a moment. A bit of a sense of story here. The church, the cross, the boys, of course. I can't say that this is a bad photo, but I bet it doesn't make you feel much. Boom, identical frame. The only thing that's changed is the light. It's made the colors look vibrant and suddenly there's this energy to it, a sense of atmosphere. This shadow, it creates a bit of visual drama, even mystery. We can definitely feel this image. Now, with this photo, I actually got AI to recreate the same frame in different light. It helps make light's effect more clear. This, of course, was a very obvious kind of example. You often hear about golden light as this holy grail for photographers. So for the next one, let's give it a bit of a twist. This right here, beautiful, vibrant, feels warm. Okay, good. This one, a totally different feel to it, right? Foggy, kind of melancholic, a bit cool. But one's not clearly better than the other. They just feel different. And now this one feels even more different, right? This is so atmospheric. It's dark. It's foggy. You can imagine that it's cozy in that house. And the rest of the scene is in the darkness. It's mysterious. So this is the actual image that I made, and the other two are AI. And again, you can see just how light changes the feel of each one of these frames. Now, this man here. You can see by his expression that he's tensing. Hard work. The scene overall feels grey and miserable. Same scene, everything same. Still looks like hard work, but it feels a bit more hopeful, doesn't it? This is the actual photo, and the light is what gives this image its more positive feel. Last example I want to show you. This image definitely feels mysterious because of the darkness. And then there's this candle light that's very warm, cozy, and almost feels sacred. This is such an atmospheric scene. But let's say this was illuminated with a fluorescent lamp. Well, that atmosphere is completely gone now. You know, light has kind of been my obsession through my now 2-decade-long photographic journey. I've been chasing light all along, not just to capture pretty sunsets or sunrises, but to feel it and to understand how it can communicate, how it changes the atmosphere of everything around us and completely shifts the mood of almost anything. Like those examples that I've just shown you. I'm always curious to see how those feelings translate into a photograph. And the more I photograph, the more I find myself looking at images through what's become a core idea to me. Something I call visual cues. Elements in a frame like light, color, gesture, even objects that act as signals, triggering emotions or a sense of story. Light is often the strongest of these because think about it. It can so dramatically change the atmosphere of everything around us in real life. So it's only natural that when you capture it, it does the same thing in your photograph too. Like here, it's all about this warm, fun, dynamic feel. In this photo, you can sense the harshness, the resilience. This one feels cold and heavy, almost ethereal. And this one, powerful, strange, and a little surreal. There is no formula for this, no official chart that says this kind of light creates this kind of emotion. But if you want some guidance and some ideas about what different kinds of light can communicate, or if you want to explore this idea of visual cues further, deeper than you can in a YouTube video, then I've built a whole program on visual cues. And it dives into this way of seeing, where everything within the frame, including light, has the potential to evoke meaning. It completely changes the way that you see photography, and I've linked to it down in the description. Anyway, if the light is all of this, a visual cue for mood, atmosphere, emotion, then when does it make sense to get all technical about it? Or would it make more sense to just lean into what you're already feeling because of the light? To pay closer attention to how light evokes emotion, mood, atmosphere in real life, and then how all of that translates through your camera. Just actually doing and observing what happens. Let me tell you a little story. I watched this doco film the other day about a small indigenous tribe deep in the forests of Brazil. They were pretty isolated and they had never seen a guitar. It wasn't a part of their world. But then a few outsiders, a few visitors brought guitars along and something beautiful happened. The people from the tribe watched, listened, felt what it was like to make music with this instrument, and soon enough they started playing it themselves. No lessons, no technical explanations, just observation, imitation, and feeling. That story really stayed with me because I believe that's exactly how photographers can learn light. Not by learning technical terms, but by getting hands-on with light. By getting a feel for light, experimenting with it, and watching how it changes things in front of the camera and in your photos. When I got my first digital camera, it felt great because there was no film, there was no pressure. I could just go out there and play, experiment, and really get a feel for what it's like to make photos. I'd grab a lamp, point it at something from different angles. Fruit was often my subject. I didn't even realize that I was learning about light. I was just curious. I wanted to see what happened when this lamp light came from the side, from behind, from above. So that's how it started, deliberate and hands-on. But the real learning began when I got out into the real world and started shooting pretty much everything. And a big part of that was because I wanted to see how the light in real life would translate into the photos. I started to develop this instinctual understanding of light. Over time, I began to notice light in the work of the photographers I admired. One of them was Olivier Folmy, an absolute master of light in travel and documentary photography. And when I started traveling, I tried to emulate him. Now, I made so many mistakes, and that's okay. You'll make mistakes too, lots of them, and it doesn't matter because what you really need to do is get all the failures out of your system. Expect to fuck up hundreds of times. Every failure brings you closer to seeing the light in a real, tangible way, not just in theory. But of course, you're gonna wonder, am I getting it right? Over time, you'll start to develop instincts and you'll be able to recognize what feels right. It's not anything complex or difficult, it's just about gaining experience by doing these things that I've already been talking about. And then when it comes to emulating somebody's work, you simply have to ask yourself, does my image resemble what I'm trying to emulate? And if you really want to be sure that you're on the right track, there's actually a tool inside of my Visual Cues program that can help you with that too. But basically, this is how you start truly seeing the light, by getting hands-on, by getting a feel for it, making mistakes, getting frustrated, and then pushing through. And then it clicks. You start seeing photo-worthy light everywhere, not just during the golden hour. And this changes everything. Now, I'm pretty sure that some of you will say, but I live in a dark and gray place. The light is always flat. We rarely even see the sun or sunrises or sunsets. And that flat gray light can work, of course, but yeah, it means that you're not going to get as much variety of natural lighting situations outdoors. Okay, here's the thing. I'm not limiting what I'm talking about to outdoor light, and I'm not even limiting it to natural light. I'm talking about all available light everywhere. When it's dull and grey outside, go indoors, and then look to shoot in darker places near windows. Get that sculpting effect through the contrast. Take advantage of artificial light when it gets dark. Sometimes subjects and places that feel dull during the day become fascinating at night just because of the way that light transforms them. And then there's fire and candles. When available, these light sources can bring warmth, life, and energy to the frame. You can shoot with mixed light sources too, like in these photos. Outdoor light coming through the door with a light bulb inside. And here, a bit of window light is penetrating this interior. There are light bulbs and of course the candles too. Do not be afraid of mixed light sources. They're just another thing to experiment with. Look, I'm always aware of light. Even when I'm going for my morning walks, I don't bring my camera. Well, I did to shoot this scene, but usually I just watch. Watch how the light filters through the trees, how it moves across the path, how it reflects off of the ocean. And sometimes I just stop to take it all in. And it's not just about beautiful lighting situations. Sometimes weird light can be powerful. I remember once in Europe, the whole day had been really uninspiring, overcast, flat, just that kind of neutral grey light. I was driving at night through these fields, and then suddenly as I pushed the brakes, I noticed in the rear-view mirror that the grass behind me started to glow with this really red and kind of eerie color. I thought, man, this could be a really interesting and evocative image. So I asked my wife to get into the driver's seat, keep the brake pushed in, jumped out of the car and got this photo. The point isn't that you'll always get a great shot. It's that you're training your eye. Or if you've been at it as long as me, you are reminding yourself of the power of light, of what light can do, and how exciting that can be. The best part is it doesn't take much effort. The photos that you're seeing, I made some of these just a few steps away from my car, in the middle of everyday life, with my family. I simply noticed what most people would walk right past. When you've got a feel for light and when you're tuned in to photograph light itself, there's always something worth shooting, because everyday light transforms something ordinary, if you're paying attention. That's what makes photography and honestly life itself so much more rewarding. It all becomes a kind of a game, searching for those visual cues, those moments of light that trigger emotion and mood. And sure, if you ever do want to get deeper into the technical side, into the theory, the terminology, it's okay, you can. The difference now is that those words will actually mean something. You'll be able to associate them with what you've already seen and felt. They'll become tangible, relevant, and real. But look, ultimately, it is very important to make something clear. Even if you do everything that I've been talking about, I think you understand that you're not gonna become a master of light tomorrow. It is a gradual process and it really depends on the individual. What I can say with certainty though is that if you keep putting it off, if you keep saying, oh, I'm gonna learn light when this clicks or when I understand that, I can pretty much guarantee that you're not even gonna take the first step to growing as a photographer and to, improving your overall understanding of light. Because the true progress comes when you turn the pursuit of light into something playful and when you integrate it into your everyday life. Of course, having said all of that, light alone is not enough. There's something even more fundamental that really defines how we communicate through the frame. That's composition. And this is what the next video is all about.